Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Republic of Players. It is a very small crew we have tonight. Myself, Ronan Fox, and also Paddy Toner. What's happening, Paddy?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm feckin' huge.
All
The
five
lads,
foot
they all
six,
quit.
yeah, is it?
They all quit. Exclusive.
Yeah, yeah. Exclusive. Yeah, that's the big
Exclusive.
news.
Me and Ronan are by ourselves.
Aiden has no power. John is working, and yeah, it's
It's working as well, I think.
Brian is working as well. Yeah, Brian
Yeah.
is caught up in work, so I haven't.
Damn adult life.
Yeah, damn adult life. So, but we're here to keep the show on the road. I got new glasses as well, some Gunner glasses. They're actually sending me a new pair because there's two little cracks on them. So
You broke them already.
they were actually broke on delivery.
Jesus.
The case that they came in was crushed. So yeah, they're sending me out a new pair. So
Was it in like a little jiffy bag or what? Like, what do they send it to you?
yeah, it was. Where is the case? I have it here somewhere. I'll get it. It's hard when there's only two of us here to kind of step away
true.
from the camera. But yeah, it came in a bag, and then in that bag was a little cardboard box with the glasses in it, and the cardboard box was in absolute bits. So they're sending me out a new pair. Highly recommend them. I get a lot of kind of eye strain throughout the day because my work is mostly on the computer during the day at home. So very helpful for anyone that is gaming or working with a screen. We have an interesting show today. UFC 5 has been announced from EA. Square Enix are considering remastering some of their old classics. And our topic of the week was something that was brought up in the Republic of Players chat during the week. And it was about exclusives in the video game industry. So we're going to be talking about exclusives, what we think of them. Are they important? Are they, a detriment to gamers out there? I think if we got a few people in the chat as well that gave their opinion on it, I think it'd be interesting. So let's get straight into the first piece of news that we have, Paddy, is Mortal Kombat 1 will include the Boys Homelander. Have you watched the Boys?
I've watched a little bit of it. And the lads are all dying for me to watch the next season and the season after. I am going to give it a go, but I can see why people want them in the game. It's kind of one of them things as part of the culture, isn't it?
Yeah, the interesting, and we've a couple of news stories that bring kind of cultural icons into gaming, and I suppose it's a great way of keeping a game alive. Or with this game, coming out, it's probably a good way to promote the game. You never know, maybe in an episode of The Boys, they might be sitting around playing Mortal Kombat. So it's a great way to market. The Boys is supposedly the directors are, there are a couple of guys that don't really like the superhero genre and wanted to do something a little bit anti-superhero. And that's exactly what it is. They come across on the face as if they're world savers and really good people, but behind it all they're absolute scumbags. It's a really interesting show. I started watching the new season and found it great, to be honest. I'm watching Black Mirror now at the moment, so once I through
I tried to watch the first episode. I don't know about that show.
The first episode is not good.
No.
It's not good. The second episode and the third the second and the fourth are really good. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, one is like it's set in like a really old Scottish town, and it's about filmmaking, and I loved it now, I have to say. I think you like it as well.
I'll give it a shot.
And episode 4 then was very good too.
The thing with this Mortal Kombat as well, another word, is Johnny Cage. It is going to be, they're bringing Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was supposed to be the original Johnny Cage.
Wow.
But they couldn't get the rights to use him at the time, so they just made Johnny Cage who's exactly like him. But now they're going to use Jean-Claude Van Damme properly in this Mortal Kombat.
That's unbelievable. Jean-Claude Van Damme, he has some story actually. It's funny that you mentioned him because I was only reading up about him there recently enough. Got highly addicted to drugs, I believe, and went on a very bad path, and obviously came back and got himself
Opioids,
cleaned
probably.
up. Cocaine, I think it was.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I thought you meant like painkillers or something. He's pure cocaine. Sure, that's
Just
the 90s for
the
you.
hard
Right?
stuff.
80s and 90s. Cocaine, bye.
He was meant to be the Predator in the original Predator movie.
All right.
And I don't know whether he was like difficult to deal with, but he was fired from the set.
I'd say so. I'd say at his peak he was a bit of a donkey. I'd say so.
Yeah.
Like he had the whole world at his feet at one stage.
The muscles from Brussels.
They were some great films back then. I used to love them films. The Dragon films and all. What was it? The one he was in where they went, it was like Mortal Kombat, basically. What's that called?
There was loads of them, like, and
it was brilliant.
I wish I could remember them. There was like
Dragon
Sidekick.
Quest, was that it? There was something like that. They were brilliant films. I loved them.
The old school action movies were
the old school
classic.
action movies.
If you remember any old school action movies, guys, in the chat, please let us know. I mean, Chuck Norris was another classic back then. He'd be good to have in a video game.
He probably was in Mortal Kombat. Probably was.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
But yeah, it's Mortal Kombat. Are you a fan? Will you be picking this one up?
No, probably. I'm not really big on fighting games. My little brother loves them. I wouldn't be. I'd probably play it if it was there on the Game Pass or, on something that you could just pick it up and play it and give it. But I wouldn't be mad to. There's lads there that play the whole thing and play with all different characters, do the tournament mode, go the whole way through it, and absolutely adore the games. But it's definitely not for me. Brian would love it, I suppose. He's big into the fighting games.
It's pity Brian isn't here, actually.
Like fighting games?
I like I said at the start, the new UFC has been announced, but it's just because I like the sport in general. Yeah. In terms of fighting games, I think Tekken is the one that I enjoyed the most.
Tekken was fun.
That was the one that I probably played the most. Mortal Kombat a little bit earlier when it was on, PS1, and it used to be great. It used to be great just fighting your brother and not in real life for a change, which was great.
Yeah, not for change.
Yeah. So that would have been my kind of experience. I do have a massive appreciation. Street Fighter, well, we all know who the greatest Street Fighter amongst the Republic is. I'll give it to you this time. Yeah, Brian, actually. Yeah. He's going to take over your mantle there. Paddy kicked my ass many times on Street Fighter.
Yeah, there's a technique.
He won't share it.
Never be beaten.
I want you to do a YouTube video on how you beat everyone.
It's pretty easy. But do you know what? I used to love the old Dragon Ball games. They were fun. Another one you could fly up into the air and fight with the Dragon Ball Z characters. That was a lot of fun. I used to love them ones.
Any fighting game fans in the chat? Let us know.
Is anyone there, Lou?
Fighting games. Look, I appreciate seeing them being played at a high level, and a lot of people are looking forward to this. What I will say about Mortal Kombat is the latest movie is unbelievable. I thought it was really good.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, really worth a watch. Very surprised on how good I found it, and it's based on the Scorpion Sub-Zero rivalry, which is, I don't know, like, it's the most iconic, isn't it, in that series? So nothing beats the retro fighting games. Yeah, retro fighting games. What retro fighting games do you like? Is it like the old school, just Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken?
All the Sega Saturn games, probably. Sega Saturn was massive for fighting games. They loved them all. There were the stories where it was the TikTok confirmed. It was the first time I ever seen something confirmed on TikTok. It's like
Mortal Kombat 1.
No, there was some. What was the story? It was a part of it. It was because I just wrote TikTok confirmed at the end of it.
I don't know if the game was confirmed on.
But not the game, but the character.
The character, possibly.
Yeah, I think the character was confirmed on TikTok. TikTok confirmed.
Homelander, an interesting character.
Homelander wasn't. Homelander was confirmed on TikTok. That's what it was. The character.
Okay, nice. I'll check that out.
Sure shows that TikTok's come a long way.
Soul Blade, Soul Blade was great, actually. I remember playing Soul Blade back in the day. There was
under chat. I'm just looking at Social Blade. It goes right up under what he said.
To continue on with the, I suppose, fighting game news, we have EA Sports UFC 5 announced, and the interesting one about this is the license runs out after this game.
Will they get it back?
I don't think they're going to try. They're going to try and get it back. I think it may be too expensive, but
Jesus,
there's a possibility that we may see them going back to the boxing games, which I don't know whether you had any interest in the old Fight Night boxing games, but they were amazing, and we haven't had one in a while.
The only thing I think with the UFC games was that I found with them, all of them, is they're always so obsessed with changing the controls. It really pissed me off, to be honest, because every time you get good at a game, they bring out the next game, and then it's just difficult then to get rid of get it good at the game again. Especially the ground controls and the ground and the mountain and the change of position, all that shit. You just get annoyed at it because it's just they keep the controls. It doesn't make the game any different. Like, it doesn't make the game a new game just because you change the controllers.
I think the ground game was better in the THQ UFCs. It just felt a little bit more intuitive. Now, I actually don't like the ground game in the EA games because it just feels like a mini game. And like somebody like yourself or myself that know the UFC and know mixed martial arts, the ground game is the most technical. And to turn it into a mini game, I don't know. I just don't think it does that side of it justice.
The one with the THQ, though, I found the ground game was very hard. If once person got into position, it was very hard to get back out of it.
Yeah,
that was very good. That it's the kind of finding the happy medium is the hard part of that.
Definitely.
But that it goes with all the kind of EA games that I've thought of. Like they always change the controllers of stuff, like the golf games and even the FIFA games and stuff. They change the controllers up a bit, and it just annoyed me. Like you remember the old Tiger Woods games? That EA was the Tiger Woods. Remember the original ones were brilliant.
They were. They peaked.
And then they went and changed all the controls, and everyone's like,
"Yeah,
like, what do you do? Like, what's the point? Leave me alone. Give me back the classic ones."
Yeah, so UFC, that's going to be the last one from EA unless they go ahead and repurchase the license. Did you watch the latest UFC? It was absolutely electric.
I haven't seen any in ages.
Oh, it was a classic night. Now I haven't watched it in ages either, but I watched it that night. It was unbelievable. Every bout was just top class. Shout out to my brother. He's actually got his blue belt in jiu-jitsu as well. Only recently.
No more fighting with him.
No more fighting with him. No more ground game anyway. We used to spar back. It wasn't too long ago actually. I used to come home from England and we used to train together, Muay Thai, and it was great, like having something that we both liked, but it allowed us to express ourselves as well.
Yeah, with elbows.
It was so he's doing unbelievable. Like he's done boxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu. I never got into the jiu-jitsu, but love boxing and Muay Thai myself, so congratulations.
That's a good game. Good thing to be into.
Yeah, he's
done a bit over me time as well, but never went for like a belt or anything. I've got in the ring all right, but that's as far as I went.
What was it, boxing or
kickboxing in the ring?
Nice.
Went a couple times. It's a different world in the ring, though. You can spar all you want. You get in that ring.
Yeah,
it's a different game.
You're you don't feel adrenaline like it, do you?
No, you don't. No, and you forget everything. What I do?
You forget everything. It's very easy to judge someone stepping into the ring when you've never done it before.
You do it yourself in front of a big crowd. Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a different level of.
You feel like you're in the middle of New York City.
Yeah, what I loved about it was you're just so like a lot of kind of. To talk a little bit about mental health issues, and everyone kind of is worried about the future or worried about the past. I felt like when you were in that sport, everything was in the moment. You were just, and especially when you're in the ring, like it's what you do here and now that matters. And it taught me some great lessons. I'd recommend anyone, even if you're not going to go into competition, go and train and do some sort of MMA or boxing, and you really can find yourself in a sport like that. It is.
Find out you're not made of glass as well.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people are afraid to get in a box, but it doesn't do much harm to you.
Not at all.
Doesn't do much harm.
But yeah, it's great. Anyone that is, at home and wanting to get into a sport, just find your local gym.
Do you have the last UFC 4?
I do have it, yeah. Yeah, I play it.
Did you play much of it?
I played a decent amount. What I like about that game is the season. So you have and not every game gets this right. You have, let's say it's 5 fights and then you get a title fight. And then when you have the title, you obviously defend your title until it's taken off you. Now, when you're a title holder, you're coming up against some really good players. And I just love that kind of loop of holding a title for, 5 fights in a row and then losing it. And it really just kind of kept you coming back to the game. It's the type of game that I'll install every so often. I play, I go against my brother every so often in it as well, and that's a great way that we can catch up. But yeah, I really like the game. I really like the stand up in it. The ground game, like I said, I'm not a big fan, but it's the best. It's the best fighting game in terms of real fighting. Put like the likes of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and all those video game, let's say, fighting games aside, it's the most realistic one. But prior to that, it was the fight night games, the boxing games were really.
I wonder would UFC
brilliant.
dip into making games. Do you think that they could have? They have enough money. Like they could have a gaming studio if they wanted one.
Yeah,
to make the UFC games and all the the slap games, maybe.
be great.
Yeah.
We have.
Aiden says the fire was finally back. If you want to add him, I don't know if that'd be hard now, would it?
I mean, it'll be a little bit of a mix and match, like, but I don't mind if you wanna.
No, it's up to you. It's up to you.
Give it a go anyway. Then. Jump in and we'll see. Can we? It's gonna be
talk.
wild.
Maybe don't. You can keep him in the background if you want. But it's supposed to be. I don't. It's up to you. We'll see him, but the crowd won't see him, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to open up the cameras in different ways, but I don't mind it. And if you wanna try it, if it doesn't work after like 30 seconds, we can continue on. I'll continue on anyway with the news. The next piece of news, guys, is we've got our Crime Watch news section back. Crime Watch. I think I have actually a soundboard here somewhere.
Yeah, stick it up there.
Where is my soundboard? No, can't find it anywhere. Okay, so Sonic the Hedgehog.
We buy all the expensive gear, but we don't use it.
Yeah, I know. Like my
Stream Deck.
My Stream Deck is a disgrace. It's a disgrace, I have to say. I even looked at it today, and I was like, all I need to do is spend 10 minutes setting up my Stream Deck.
Same as myself. It's plugged in here, and it's got. Do you know what's on it? The volume. I can turn the volume up and down.
Muting all the lads. This is the only one I have here.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah, so I'll get that sorted for next week. We'll have our chimes back. But Sonic the Hedgehog creator given suspended prison sentence, and he has to pay a 1.2 million fine. Yuji Naka found guilty of insider trading while at Square Enix.
Hello,
Aidan.
I don't know if that changed that.
It did, but we can try and get you in. Give me a second, Aidan.
Oh, no problem.
Paddy, do you want to talk a little bit about this story? Well,
where did I have it now? I was just going to really point out that he had to give back 1.2 million, right? But the thing reckons that he made millions, and his sentence was suspended. So basically, this man made a profit. He made millions out of this. He didn't go to jail, and I know he's done his name in, but like he's after making a few million. He's happy, isn't he?
Is the Yuji Naka story?
Yeah.
He's definitely going to come out with more money than he went in.
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
But like it happens all the time. Like America especially is full of it. Like insider trading. They do it all the time. What's your mom's name? Nancy Pelosi. They reckon is the best trader that ever lived. She's one of the head of government in America, and she always has the best
piece of stuff, isn't she?
Yeah, she always has the best trades straight away. It's like, oh yeah, but she gets away with it. Everyone gets away with it. It's one of these things, but I suppose I wonder how much he got paid to make the Sonic game or whatever he was doing. Look at him, he's flying.
Okay.
Now,
guys, we're all ready. We're ready to rock there. I was pretty happy.
Nice.
Aiden, you don't have a background on your name, but I mean, we're okay. You're here.
All right.
Did you hurt your hand?
I have a trapped nerve in my wrist.
Oh, ow. Does it hurt?
No, it's just numb and tingly all the time.
All right. I think I have stuff from Can going.
Oh yeah, that's the ulnar nerve. I think Kangoin does that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
If
same
you do
one.
for too long, it can happen. So how have you been, Aiden?
Not so bad. It's been
The power. You had our worst nightmare there. No power.
Yeah,
no power.
power outage. Played iPad games for an hour.
That's the only thing about going digital is like if the internet goes, it's like I don't even have normal TV anymore. So if the internet goes, the PlayStation 4 is getting pulled out, and I'm looking for some DVDs.
Yeah,
because I have nothing else. Like
those Blu-rays that you boasted about for a month before they became obsolete.
The Blu-rays, yeah, they're here somewhere. I've got a lot of superhero films to watch. That'll do the job.
Nice.
But if the power goes through, I might as well just give up. just run away.
I wonder, can we get some inside trading, Paddy?
Yeah, if the Republic players ever go public, I'll let you know before.
Thanks a million. Yeah.
And, that's all I want.
Just put it into the old, going down zone.
Yeah, we'll short it.
We'll short it. That's it. How we make money. We'll make the money. You heard it here first, folks. We'll just launch.
We have to make more though.
We'll do a Logan Paul and we'll launch the Trop coin and we'll make loads of it and then just sell it off.
Oh yeah, that was bad, wasn't it?
Just run
That's what
right
they all
away.
do. That's what they all do. They sell off. Oh, it's going to make millions. Buy it.
Rug pull.
Rug pull. Bye-bye. Thanks for the money, bitches.
So he was given a
there's a
2-year
lot.
prison sentence, 2.5 years, 6 months, as well as fined a total
Nobody
of
was given a
1.2 million.
suspended sentence, wasn't it?
Sorry, suspended, yeah.
So he
Given
didn't
a
go to jail
prison
at all.
sentence. Insider trading scheme dating to 2020. According to Japanese news agency GG Press, Naka's prison sentence has been suspended for 4 years, meaning he avoids serving time as long as he adheres to the conditions of his release and doesn't break the law again during the time. In suspending Naka's sentence, the judge noted that he has shown remorse for his crime. Like,
That's something an Irish judge.
As he wipes away
it's just
the
a South
tears of
Park
the
thing,
money.
isn't it? We're
He's
sorry.
from a good family.
The priest came up and gave a good character statement.
It was resting in my account.
He didn't mean to take all the money.
The sentence will be suspended.
Yeah, ridiculous. But that's where honestly, I think it's so silly that he gets to keep the money. Like, it's just ridiculous. 1.2 million, and he made millions. It said, like, way more than he got to give. That's just, it's like, you might as well just tell people to go do it. It's okay. You'll get away with it. If you've got a good lawyer, like, you're grand.
His last game was Balan Wonder
Yeah,
World?
that's a piece of shit.
Is it?
Oh, it's atrocious.
This isn't long after he was suing Square Enix either. I was saying he sued Square Enix too, did he? He'll be back. He'll make his own podcast now. How to make money.
Yeah, his own financial YouTube channel.
Yeah, how I got away with it.
Oh.
Pay 1.2 million, but make 5.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just pure economics. He wins. Like,
Yeah, that's so
you
strange.
probably
Isn't it?
give the judge $500,000. Sure, there you go. Here, you're grand.
Wow. This is probably going to be a messed up looking scene as well, but we have some interesting news. Is Game coming to Ireland? And the reason why we think this might be happening is Paddy shared this with us earlier on. It's a job advertisement for an assistant store manager opening in Dundalk.
Yeah,
we do
just over the border.
Just over the border.
Just over the border. They're snaking in, lads. They're snaking in.
They're snaking in.
This is it. Like, to be honest, I didn't think it'd be this quickly. Like, they're obviously see a gap in the market and they're jumping in. Like, there is nothing left, really, to be fair. I don't think, just look at them flying. Production, value, break.
Production whiz over here. Aiden's missing, but he'll be all right for this one. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I think with the ending of GameStop, like, I drive by it in Mullingar and it is a miss, like, because it's somewhere that I used to just go in on my lunch and maybe look at, a couple of new cheap games to buy or a few merchandise that I had. Like, I've got loads of merchandise here from GameStop over the years. It was a place that I used to bring the two lads in to buy a game. It was the last kind of feeling of going into a shop and buying a game and having that excitement of
the only thing that
the
makes
physical.
me think that game shops have to keep coming around is because Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo need them. They need them because they need to sell consoles. Like, it's so much so many more people buy consoles from a shop than they do online, because it's that thing of going in and seeing it and just, taking it. So you might see Xbox and PlayStation back in shops, back in game, bringing a new shop in to sell, having an Xbox store. Like, you might have like Apple has for phones. It could happen. Like, so
when GameSpot shut down, I don't think it was that big a deal. When Argos shut down as well, then something needed to happen.
And Iceland.
Smiths are too big. You can't open a Smiths everywhere.
No.
Where you can open a GameStop in like any town or like a game.
Yeah.
True.
I think they're definitely needed. I don't think we're ready yet. I don't think unless, like, if consoles need to be sold, you need a game shop.
I think the biggest problem is in America you have different stores that do sell games and consoles and kind of tech. In Ireland, there's not too many like it. We used to have, I think Tesco's used to have a little section down the back. Used to go down and...
Yeah, why did Tesco stop selling them? They still sell
I don't know.
for God's sake.
I think Tesco just sell like FIFA now. Like they take the 2 or 3 big games a year and sell that, and that's it.
I think I bought like Red Dead Redemption 2 out of Tesco's because
Yeah,
it was like on a sale or something.
cheaper than anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to always have like 2 or 3 big games a year. Tesco would have cheaper than anybody else. I think that's all they do now with games.
I wonder why, like,
Strange.
is game coming back? Will they open more than one store? Are we starting as like a Dundalk, and then maybe there's going to be loads more? Like, will they blanket the country, and then are we going to just see 2 or 3? Like, literally, someone was saying as well. There's one fairly close to that one in Dundalk. It's just over the border, Newry or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard to know. As I said, sneaking over the border, but they're definitely going to take the opportunity while they can. Maybe they do it better than GameStop. Like, they're lasting longer, but people in the UK reckon that game will be gone in the UK too. That's from what I see in the Nerdvine anyway.
I heard that like 2 years ago the game was really struggling, but then I think it sort of had a bit of a resurgence.
Was it after COVID? Maybe a lot more people staying at home.
I don't know, because there was a time when game wasn't even getting their like pre-order copies of stuff in and stuff, and like people thought that like, it was doomed.
I don't really get the pre-order thing. I don't understand why people pre-order. The only time I really want to pre-order is if I want to load the game for the next day.
People like pre-order bonuses. The only good pre-order bonus is being able to play the game at midnight on Friday night.
Yeah. That's it. Like, on sometimes they give you the game a couple of days early, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's like, I could be wrong here, but I think it's a way of like gamers showing that they're super fans of the product. You know, like it's almost like, oh, that's a game that I've pre-ordered due to the fact that I'm a massive fan of this series, but I'm totally against pre-ordering.
Same. I just think it's funny because you're thinking like, oh, I better get this because it might run out. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Pre-ordering was fun, where if you pre-order enough, they have a midnight launch. And that was good.
Yeah, crack. That was the reason why you pre-ordered, because the physical was going to run out, and you mightn't get a GTA or a Call of Duty.
Pre-order,
and also like the midnight launches were so fun. I used to love that.
Yeah, midnight launches was good.
Yeah,
or going to watch a film at midnight, like Star Wars or something.
We went to a pub quiz before the Modern Warfare 2 midnight launch, and we won a case of cider. Walking from the pub up to GameStop, holding the cider, and just giving people bottles out from the case out to people in line. It was great crack.
HMV's back as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not.
Well, there's one shop in Dublin.
They're not selling games, are they?
I think someone said they weren't. Yeah, but hopefully they do. What are they selling then? CDs?
Vinyl.
It's a pop-up. So you're saying it's a pop-up shop?
No, just in general, vinyl sales are so good at the moment.
Yeah,
like those two major vinyl factories left in America, and like they were at constant max production, and I think 12 new ones have opened. Like, it's a huge thing.
There's a pop-up vinyl event coming to Mullingar soon. I'll probably go in and have a look.
I've never owned a record player.
I have one.
No.
You have one. I did like the Eminem vinyls and stuff. Like, they were pretty cool. Some of the older ones are pretty decent. Or the D12.
If I'm going to listen to vinyl, I go to my bassist's house because he has like a nice setup, and I buy him records every Christmas.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a difference in the sound in vinyl?
There's a warmth to it, definitely. I think you think there's a warmth because there's a cool experience of putting vinyl on.
I'm glad you said that. Like, my family, my uncle is a sound engineer and my father, and I asked them, is there an improvement to the sound? And they said no, it's more of a style that people like, the crackle style. It's not that they're better sound quality, because
it's not quality, no.
No, it's not quality. It's just the sound is,
I've always just said warmth. I think
that's a good way of explaining it. Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, you can replicate that warmth with digital audio workstations now when you're creating music. Like, there's so many different plugins that recreates that sound, and it definitely, there's some music out there that, a lot of the lo-fi stuff that people listen to, like I listen to a lot during the day, it's nice and relaxed. They have a lot of that old kind of vinyl sound, and
I like it. I really like it in that. I think it just works so well for lo-fi.
Yeah,
a bit of crackle to it makes
I like it nice. As well.
Crackle in the rain in the background.
Definitely.
Crackle of vinyl, it's lovely.
Yeah, the latest track I did, I used a vinyl effect on it. Last Train Home. I don't know whether you heard that one, but I'll send it on to you. It's it's a nice style. But I think with the pop-up shop, I'll definitely go and have a look, and if I see something that, maybe an old album that I listened to back in the day, I'll pick it up I think it's just a nice collection.
I have a few albums that if I find them, I'll frame them.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, there's a couple that if I ever see, I'll definitely frame.
See, with HMV is a franchise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wonder, are people coming in now and getting the franchise for a fraction of a price it used to be, and just using the name? And
I have no idea what
possibly
the pricing would be.
Like, because this Irish gaming streamer says, I was in there recently, all are selling CD vinyls and I think Funko Pops. Like, would that last the next 10 years? Or am I wrong?
Why won't Funkos go away?
I'm exactly with you, Eden.
So many companies make nice models, and then there's
I never got the whole Funko Pop thing. Don't get me wrong, if you're out there collecting Funko Pops, more power to you. But even when they first hit the market, I was like, I don't like their design, and I never did. And
I don't like the dead eyes.
Are they just little bobbleheads?
That's what it seemed like at the start.
They're the bobbly head version of any character with the black dot dead eyes.
Yeah, I'm not a Funko Pop fan.
I'm convinced they're popular because they stack well.
Possibly.
I'm just into anything that makes money. So, like, if I get one that's worth a few quid, I'll keep it. All right, no bother.
I just love a more kind of realistic model. Do you know, like some of the Deadpool models you have are unbelievable, or you know, some of the game characters like Assassin's Creed do great models of their characters. Joker's a great model. Yeah.
There's some unbelievably nice model kits of the Metal Gears, but they're very expensive.
How come no one's brought back videotapes yet? That's not a thing.
Because it's just a bad technology, Paddy.
I suppose. They had them for so long, though. They lasted.
What was the saying John had told me? Hopefully he gets in on the chat, but he was like, it was called Be Kind, Rewind. There you go.
Yeah.
It was it the name of a place, or
was the name of a film? Yeah.
Oh yes, it was a name.
And it was
on
the wall in most video rental shops in America, as far as I know.
Was that the same film for as was a Sideshow? No, what's his name?
Silent J.
Bob. Yeah,
Silent Bob, that one.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
is that the same film? I think it was Be Kind Rewind.
Who was Be Kind Rewind?
I think they were in that film as well, weren't they? And they were in. I don't know, a couple of them. Garza loved to stare down yourself the ugly thing because no figures are for all. There's big, massive. Funko Pops are massive.
They are massive
in this country as well. They're huge.
Yeah. Like, I have appreciation when I see somebody, you know, collecting anything like that. But personally, I just wouldn't. I've never got into them.
There's always something to collect. Like back in the 90s, it was like Beanie Babies and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon.
Remember Pogs?
90s.
Pogs, Pokemon cards.
Well, back in the when was that? They were back in the 90s, weren't they? The Beanie Babies.
I've spent too much money on Yu-Gi-Oh cards over my life to be like, oh, it was just the 90s.
Well, the Beanie Babies are 90s. I think the 90s then were Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards.
Beanie
1999 is when Pokemon cards came out, wasn't it? 99, I think. Yeah, they're the original ones.
Was that the first year? God,
I think it was the
seems
first
like it would be earlier than that.
Microsoft, go ahead. I forgot to put that in the chat.
But like, Michael, we understand that. We've covered it literally in every podcast for the last couple of weeks. But it is big news. So just to give people a background of what happened. So they've got to go ahead to purchase Activision. It hasn't happened yet. The FTC have 5 days. Yeah, they have 5 days to appeal, and if they don't appeal, they can just go ahead and buy it. The thing I read about the FTC as well is they actually tried to stop Meta. I think it was like Facebook becoming Meta, and they failed at that as well, and they didn't appeal. They just disappeared. So
they're pretty good at stopping, or pretty bad at stopping monopolies.
They're pretty bad, yeah. It seems.
Yeah.
I honestly don't mind this one though. I think PlayStation's throwing the price.
Michael, we are going to talk about that during our topic of the week, which
Jean Claude Van Damme is a legend.
Which is, yeah.
What's about
How dare you?
Van Damme? Have I missed something about him? He's deadly.
Yeah, he's in the new Mortal Kombat game.
Oh yes,
there you go.
I saw I just want to say that Homelander in Mortal Kombat is genius.
Yeah.
What about Nicolas Cage in Dead by Daylight?
How many of us heard these?
So he's in Dead by Daylight, and he's meant to be. I don't know whether he's the same character as the enormous weight of massive talent, because he is playing himself, and there's all his voice lines in it, and it's meant to be pretty cool.
This is really just a meme, isn't it? And not what they want him in there for, just for the crack.
Yeah, seems to
People
be.
like him.
Yeah, I know, but it's more for like people are like, oh, they're just sitting there going, do you know what would be cool? It's like,
Yeah.
we get this. Yeah, exactly. That's
Dead by Daylight in a nutshell.
Yeah, you know what would be
That
cool?
is-
I have so many female friends that are addicted to that game.
Really?
Yeah, honest to God, like there's a huge community around Dead by Daylight, and they play it like as a group. Most evenings they'll jump
Most
in.
females love the old horror genre, though.
I think it's my brother's favorite game of all time.
It's
He's
unbelievable.
played
Like
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Like I played it once and I was like, this is janky. But like there must be something to it. There must be like a gameplay loop that just keeps them coming back.
I've watched it being played and I get it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I get it. It's
I played the Friday the 13th version.
Is it scary though? Or
it definitely can be. There's like an asylum level, it's really dark, and depending on the person you're against, it really can be. But also it has Nemesis in it and Pyramid Head. It's just it's like the game is.
They just keep adding, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dead by Daylight. If you're a fan, Nick Cage is there, playable character.
The voice lines are amazing.
Yeah, they're meant to be unbelievable. Too. Yeah, he is a legend.
Funny.
Yeah, I love his films and stuff like that. Some of them, anyway.
Yeah, no, he's got some
every
great
film
movies.
he's ever been in is better for it.
Lord of War, like I love that fucking film. Brilliant. They're on to bring the second one out of them as well. I don't know how.
Never a better time to talk about gun running.
Exactly.
He's great in The Rock as well.
Yeah, no, he's a brilliant actor.
Nicolas Cage has had the greatest year in action movie history. He had The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off all within 12 months.
Con Air was ridiculous, but it was good.
Yeah, Con Air was brilliant.
That is, in my opinion, the greatest 12 months an action actor has ever had. Since Nicolas Cage.
Even better than Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They've never had 3 movies of anywhere near that caliber.
What are the 3 movies?
Con Air, The Rock, and Face Off.
Oh my goodness.
It's insane. Wow. They're all like
still a meme to this day. Still a meme.
It's crazy.
So funny. You see John Travolta coming up, and this is Nicolas Cage.
That film is so good. It's incredible.
It is good.
It is brilliant. It's scary. It was scary when I first watched that.
They do such a good job of pretending to be each other. They actually do. It's a real good acting skill.
I seen something the other day. It broke my heart. It was Matt Damon talking about movies, and he was saying the reason we don't see like cult classic movies anymore is because we don't have videotapes, and we don't have they've only been released in the cinema and not been released to be resold again. So there's not enough money, so they can't take risks anymore. It's like
you have $1 to $5 million movies, and you have $100 million plus.
Yeah,
movies.
and there's no, and it's like, but that's the problem. Because the movies aren't as good as they used to be. They're not like
you're not wrong.
It's heartbreaking.
It's seen the rise of low budget horror really explode, but apart from that, every other genre has tanked.
Yeah.
When was there like a really good comedy that everybody saw?
No, you can't make comedies anymore either.
It's like I want Anchorman. I want another
new season of South Park is pretty good if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few episodes of it. It was good.
It's pretty good.
Last thing I watched,
I like
was
Knocked
The
Up. I think Knocked Up was kind of one of the last comedies that stretched it a little bit. I enjoyed that.
In terms of action, like you have to say, like the new Top Gun was outrageously good, and
that was a good movie.
Mad Max is one of my favorite action movies of all time.
You'll definitely get blockbusters.
Yeah,
but that's the thing, because blockbusters will always make the money.
Yeah,
but what I'm on about is story-driven, like something different, left field kind of films.
$60 million movies.
Yeah, I love them films, and they're not everybody's cup of tea. That's why it doesn't work, because not everybody will go see them in the cinema. And
The Weatherman.
The Weather. I never seen that. It's good.
That's a really good Nicolas Cage movie where he carries around a bow and arrow.
Well, check that out.
That's true. I'm trying to think of like a kind of an indie-made movie that did well. It's hard to think of them.
The Banshee of Inisherin, like that was good.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. I know
that went to Disney as well.
It had
how much money did they make? Like, them lads have made their money. Like, they probably don't care as much. Like I'm surprised Matt Damon does, but I suppose you have to make the money. Maybe they have to come down in price. Maybe that's just the way it is. You just can't get as paid as much anymore. It's not there anymore.
Go back to practical effects.
Well, it's not the artist's salary that's the problem. It's marketing.
Yeah, I'd say it.
Marketing is
trying to get it in front of people.
Brilliant actor. Matt Damon's a brilliant actor. I love his films.
Ford versus Ferrari was top class.
Ford versus Ferrari, brilliant.
Yeah, it's top class. Did you watch the Jordan one?
What a film!
Not as good, but still very watchable. He plays the. Is it him that plays it? I'm trying to think. It's definitely Ben Affleck anyway. I'm sure Matt Damon is in it too, but it's Nike basically getting the deal for the Air Jordans.
Oh yes, I saw the trailer for that.
Can't remember what it's called, but it was decent. It wasn't as good as Ford versus Ferrari now, but
They must have been recording at one at the weekend, F1, were they? They were who was there?
Brad Pitt, yeah. So it's a new
Idris Elba was there as well.
He's in everything, Idris.
Yeah, he's
I love that man
nice.
so much.
He's good.
He came out recently and said he's not doing 007.
He would have been a good choice for it.
Yeah, he would have been a good choice.
I think it's absolutely Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great choice too. Does make sense. I
Have you
think
ever
he's
seen
very.
the man-
I think he's
have you
very
ever seen the
tall.
man- Have you ever seen The Man from Uncle?
No,
No,
Not a
that's the
good
same type
film,
of movie,
but-
isn't it?
Not a good film, but oh my god, does he look the part?
I think he's very tall to be James Bond. I think James Bond should be like someone my size.
Did you see that image I shared? Him as Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That'd be decent.
I do
Okay,
think
so
he's really intent on doing Warhammer for the next while.
nice.
Good idea too.
So Square
why he
Enix
left.
I'm glad you're here for this one, Aidan, because I think you're interested in this one. Square Enix
Yay.
considering remastering more of its long lost RPGs. Give us the
So
breakdown on what you're thinking.
This happened because Live Alive did really well. Live Alive was a game that we had heard about for years over here. It was really popular in Japan. And then, what do you call that game? Octopath Traveler came out. That technology they have for doing like
Oh yeah, Octopath.
painting on sprites and stuff has really sort of like brought back Square Enix's RPG sort of ways of doing things. They're like making a lot of games like that.
They got a sequel recently, didn't they?
There's two Octopaths. There's Triangle Strategy and there's Live Alive.
They are absolutely gorgeous.
They're beautiful. That painted style is so nice. Water looks incredible in them. So like, they all did really well. They all sold really well, and I think Square's realizing that there's still a market for their old games. So like, Xenogears and Vagrant Story are two games that were PS1 games that didn't sell very well over here, but have only sort of become mythical games kind of over the years. They're games that people like finding now they're 500 quid a piece.
Yep.
Wow.
The RPGs.
Yeah. I remember playing Vagrant Story. It had like a creamish front, didn't it? I think it was a lady with a sword, or
yeah. I wanted to do Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve is one of the coolest games I ever played. It's a game that came out just after Resident Evil. So it's, imagine a Resident Evil game with RPG combat, where every time you walk into the enemy, you like enter like a screen where you can move and do combat. But the game is so creepy and atmospheric, and it's all about like going through churches and finding this ancient deity that killed everyone at a play. And it's one of my favorite PS1 games, and that being mentioned here makes me really excited.
Is this game like the first of a few games, or is it just as an individual?
There's two Parasite Eve games. I only ever played the first.
And this is the first one that they're remaking?
No, well, these are there's. It's not even. It's just as talking with them.
They haven't considered which one
they'll go for next.
What I find with these JRPGs, they're very big story-driven games, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Would they not release like another part of it? Is that hard to do? Like to come up with a new next IP for it?
A lot of times these games are big stories that start and end with the world. So where do you go? Where do you go next after you kill God?
The devil.
Like generally, a lot of them is you're fighting such a huge world-destroying threat that where do you go next? That's why every Final Fantasy game is like standalone mostly.
Just gonna say that it sounds like every Final Fantasy game they ever released, except for what was it, 10 Part 2?
Yeah, but 10 only got a sequel because the main character disappeared at the end, and people wanted to know what happened to him. And then 13 was made to be a trilogy, but like nobody really talks about 13.
And tell me, what do you think of the new one?
16, I love it.
That's mad because
absolutely love it.
I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on it, with like especially like big fans of Final Fantasy. Like I've said it before that I'll play every Final Fantasy, and I loved what I played of Final Fantasy 16. I haven't got to jump past the demo, but I've kind of read that it doesn't really feel like a Final Fantasy game. That it's more of an action I suppose, action RPG, if that
It
makes
is
sense.
absolutely more of an action RPG. It feels at times like very very much like a Devil May Cry game.
Yeah,
But it has the little nods to the world of Final Fantasy, the little things you
it
kind of
does.
expect.
Chocobos and
Yeah, like you've played the demo, you're Ifrit. Like that's like
yeah,
you. The boss fights are boss fight, boss fight. Okay, now summon boss fight, and they're amazing.
yeah, they are.
I just fought Titan last night, and that fight was insane.
I think like it might be the best looking game on PS5 that I've seen.
It's stunning.
Like it really does push it to the absolute max, and it's great that we have games like that they're taking the full brunt of the console. Yeah, it is about time, definitely.
But also, like I talk about a lot about how 15 annoys me. One of the things with 15 annoys me is the combat in 15. Once you realize there's a thing where once you go down to 0 HP in 15, you enter a dying state. And if you use a potion, you exit the dying state. So if you buy 99 potions in the first shop, you can never lose a fight.
You can never die.
And that drove me nuts.
And is there only 99 fights in the whole game?
No, but every shop you can just stock up. As long as you have 99 potions, you can never lose.
What's dead may never die.
So the combat in 16 is really challenging in places, and it really rewards you for learning how to use that dodge properly.
I loved it. I thought it was like my heart was racing after I finished the demo. And the demo was very bloody for a Final Fantasy game. Yeah, definitely. Like it was it just felt brutal. Different. Like there
was our recommendation for the week.
There you go.
Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, definitely check out the demo. I mean, if you haven't played the demo, it's free. Go ahead. The nice thing about the demo now, it's the old school way where you play it to a certain point, it stops, and then if you buy the game, you just continue on from that point. You don't have to replay it again, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
And definitely worth at least checking out. I would say people that like Final Fantasy are obviously more than likely after checking it out, but even if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, just have a look at it for the story, for the gore. The fight mechanics are pretty good as well. And Paddy, I know you're not really a turn-based guy. This is more of a, like I said, an action RPG. So it's, there's a little bit more flow to it, if that makes sense. And definitely worth checking out.
Sweet.
There is a wonderful little slowdown trick they do when you hit a perfect dodge, and that feels amazing.
It does.
It feels so good. And then you get a ring later on that lets you, whenever you perfect dodge, your attacks are faster and fire based, and that feels amazing. You get into such a rhythm, especially in there's some really good one-on-one fights with people, and you get to the dodging gets so fun.
Yeah, I felt after the demo, I was like, I'm in here. I'm definitely going to play this, but I need to, I'll take a week off, and it might be kind of like a holiday game for me that I can just put on the big screen and just enjoy it. Enjoy it on the big 4K TV. I think it's one of those games. It's amazing looking. Let's continue on here, guys, because I want to get to topic of the week. It's an important one. Sega workers in Irvine, California formed the largest multi-department union in the gaming industry. I think this is good all round for the gaming industry if this is, one of the first ones. So they tweeted there recently saying, we just won our union election 91 to 26. Our 200 plus member union is now the largest multi-department union of organised workers in the entire gaming industry. So excited to celebrate this win. And just to continue building this company that we love. So, I mean, over the last couple of years, we've reported on some slimy things going on in the gaming industry, and in particular with QA. Yeah, in particular with crunches, with employees not being treated well. So hopefully this is the start of them all just kind of banding together. And I know it is only one company, but other companies may follow suit, or other employees within companies may follow suit. So
probably forced into it
this year.
Yeah, they're probably forced into it because of inflation. That might take it out. They're probably not getting the wages they need to get. That's a lot of unions get fucking.
In the past couple of years, a couple of unions have started. This is just the biggest one.
Yeah,
QA in particular, for QA, unions have been necessary. They have been treated like scum for the past while.
Yeah.
Hey, that's Sega, is that what you said?
What?
Sega, yeah.
Yeah, Sega.
Yeah.
And do they say what they're looking for? No, it's just that's their first step, is putting a union together.
It's just to be a union, just to have organized.
Yeah. Are any of you in a union?
No, I used to be. we had a union years ago, but they made us. I remember I was working on the airport T2, and we couldn't go past the pick line. But I was like, they got paid and I didn't, so I was disgraced.
Yeah.
But the electricians were striking. The electricians are striking, looking for like 25 quid an hour instead of 23. But if they pay the union and all that, it's a very American thing. You don't think unions are big in this country, are they?
Yeah. I'm in one now, and I think I was in one in the last job, but I think it's just good to have there as extra support if something does happen, that you can call on them and they're there to give you some advice, and that's the way I see them anyway. I've never had to use them, but I've known people that
within the gaming industry, I know they're being pushed to their limits a lot of the time. The only thing with that is it comes in bounds of, like, it might make games that if everybody gets in a union and all the wages will go up and that the games get more, it's just that's a vicious circle. Do you know what I mean? That's economics, I suppose, at the end of the day. But it is good for on the general board of the ground floor of people. It helps, obviously. Like, it's good for them. Do you know what I mean? They need it. And I agree with unions. Like, especially in America, corporate America it's harsh. It's a harsh reality.
At will employment, man. Oh my God.
At will employment, is that a contract? Yeah.
At will employment is that whole thing where you can be sacked for any reason in America.
Wow.
What did they do as well? The 0-hour contracts.
0-hour contracts as well. That was a thing. That was a thing in Ireland for a while.
Yeah, and you can't claim it.
It's only gone recently, because I used to be on a 0-hour contract.
Yeah, it's only gone the past like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. It needs to be a minimum of, is it 18 now or something?
Yes, 18, 19 hours or something like that.
When I started with the company, I was on a 0-hour, and it was like a relief position, so you're called upon when you're needed, and
it's a rough situation to be in.
It is.
But that's the thing, is the corporates will always take any opportunity they can. If they'll always go to the law, they'll go right to the brink of it, the end of the law, and whatever they can get away with, they'll get away with it.
Yep.
That's why it's good to have unions.
The lighter gaming industry is turning towards unionization. Jeez, I can't even talk. If any industry needed unions, it's gaming. Hopefully move away from crunch and releasing unfinished games at full price.
Yeah.
It just means that we might have longer time to wait. Look, I want games to take longer. Wait. I think buying a game at release and it not working is just it's the absolute worst, and it's happening far too much lately.
Nothing made me as excited for Starfield as here. It was delayed for a year for testing.
The problem with this is
I still think it's going to be broken, Ed, and I'm not going to lie.
We get into a thing that we're never having any bloody games because everyone's taking so bloody long.
I just hope it goes back to, and we are getting a few of them. You know, the indie scene really pushed the PS4, especially in the first year, and I had some great fun, you know, with a lot of indie games that came out. You know, maybe there's a space for like second tier developers to come back.
AA games.
AA games, there you go.
AA games used to be the best, one of the best games. The problem is that every company thinks we need to have this huge thing that'll make sell.
Yeah, but what happens?
Look at BattleBit. 3 developers, and what did they sell? 2.5 million copies? Something crazy.
Yeah, but what happens when a AA game does well? Microsoft or Xbox or PlayStation come in and buys them. Come into my company.
Well, no, like a lot. There's games like there's AA has been made now. That Hi-Fi Rush, that's a AA game.
Yeah.
One that came out on the Xbox exclusive. Like there is some owned companies that are like smaller companies making smaller budget games.
Would you lads be happy to wait? Sorry, would you lads be happy to wait longer for games and pay up to 70 or 80 euro for a game if you knew that the staff were treated fairly? I probably would.
Oh, just of course.
Definitely.
Never. I mean, I wouldn't agree with anyone being mistreated
for
anything.
100%.
No product. Nothing doesn't
I think the problem is sometimes there's so much pressure. That's a great question, Michael, I have to say, because I think when games are delayed, a lot of the gaming industry, a lot of the gamers will just get onto Twitter and kick up absolute stink and put massive amount of pressure on developers to get that game out. And then what happens is the rush to get it done, there's crunch, the game's released, it's broken, and there's even, you know, a worse issue then that they have to deal with in terms of, you know, dealing with a broken game is never nice. And then they have to work again to try and get the game work. It's just finish the game before you release it. I think a big thing to do with it as well is announcing games far too early.
Yeah, that happens
You know,
all the
like
time.
10 years is way too far away. Like, who cares? Like, 10 years? I'm not going to be hyped for a game that's going to come out.
This is a journalism problem, though.
It is, yeah, no, definitely.
A lot of most of the time when a game's announced, we've known about it for a year beforehand anyway.
Yeah,
they feel like they have to announce it because it's just been in the ether for too long.
Cyberpunk was a big issue.
They need to have news. I think that's what the basic thing as well. They need to be saying they're doing something.
Another important aspect of this that people don't talk about is high morale improves a product a lot.
Yeah.
When you're making in tech, particularly, low morale will destroy a project.
Cyberpunk was the one game that it broke my heart, and the reason why is because CD Projekt Red came from the gutter. Like, they started as a company that were pirating games in their country, because they couldn't release games, and they built up. They were able to release Witcher 1, I think. Didn't do amazingly well, but it was, well liked amongst fans of that series. Witcher 2 came out and absolutely, blew the company up, and then Witcher 3 was released, and it was, it's still regarded as one of the greatest games of all time. And then they went a totally different path with Cyberpunk, and I bought that game at release, and it's the only game that I've ever refunded. I was disgusted with it, because you're waiting 10 years for this game to come out, and then it comes out and it's not working. Now, I know they've done a lot of work, not to put the company down or anything, but they've done a lot of work to get the game working. And I think there was also the issue of they had to release it on PS4 and PS5, and I bought it on PS4, and it was not a fun experience.
That contract they signed where they couldn't pull it from current gen consoles was the ruin of them in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
that game got to such a size where it was just not going to run on those old consoles, and also it was released a year early.
I'm definitely one of them people that I'd never send anything back.
Looking at you, Redfall. Yeah, exactly. There's been a couple of games this year that have been released just half-baked. Redfall definitely one of them, but it just feels like we're doing it every month. It's a game comes out and it's not good.
They just can't keep to their timelines. That's just it.
And then Final Fantasy 16 is the most polished Final Fantasy I've played in a long time.
Yeah, do Final Fantasy games ever come out unfinished?
15 is arguably the one, but I think that was more to do with
missing a large aspect of the story.
Yeah, but that's more to do with like the content within the game rather than it running really badly.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was in a little bit of development mess. Just the last piece of news, guys, before we go into topic of the week, and I know we're going over our time, but I do want to talk about it. So EA announces Black Panther game with Marvel, and it's a single player experience. They've also announced that there'll be an Iron Man game with Marvel as well, and EA said in September 2022 that it reached a long-term deal with Marvel, announcing at the time that Iron Man was the first of several games. So
I mean, that was Black Panther.
Iron Man first and then Black Panther after. Iron Man was known about prior to this news story.
I think Black Panther, I think we heard about this before too. I'm very sure we did. Or was there another Black Panther game? There's something in it. I remember watching a video about something.
I know there was an Iron Man for the VR,
Avengers
wasn't there?
Oh, that's what it was.
There was an Avengers expansion specifically about
Black Panther. That was Black Panther. That's right. I remember that now. We talked about this before about them releasing games, and it's a good idea. But hopefully they connect like the Marvel films do. I hope that's where they start, and because it works with the films. Well, some people would argue that they don't like that because they go in and watch a film and they have to watch 15 films before that to know what was going on in this film. It's just fair enough if you're not paying attention.
This game in particular, it's coming from a studio led by a guy who was the production lead for Shadow of Mordor. Yeah. So I think if anybody knows how to make a game that would feel good to play for Black Panther, I think that would be the one.
Wakanda forever.
Other members of the team at Cliffhanger worked on Halo, God of War, and Call of Duty.
Is Iron Man just going to be like a Batman film or Batman game? Kind of.
Sorry?
I would like a
God of War.
Iron Man be very like a Batman game.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love a real cool, big, open city Iron Man game. That would be pretty cool.
Iron Man is not really generally a person that goes saving people in the streets, though, is he?
He's not a street level superhero, no.
No.
No, he's not Spider-Man or Daredevil.
No. But it would be interesting to see what way they go about it and who will voice them.
That's a big one. I would go space. Go space. You can do a space story.
I forgot about that. There's nothing about Wolverine game from Insomniac anymore. I actually thought there was going to be something at the last show, but there was not a thing about him.
Anyone see the Deadpool 3 trailer?
No.
There's a trailer?
Yeah, there was. I'm sure there was an announcement.
There was a logo.
There was a logo from the set.
Oh, it was just a set, was it? With with Wolverine,
Hugh Jackman in the
yes, sorry, it's just a set. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
They're going to wipe out the Fox universe. Meow.
That's fine. I get to see Wolverine in this silly yellow costume before it goes.
I just hope. I heard a rumor that it was that was going to be the person playing Wolverine. That's the character, not Wolverine. If you get me.
Oh, that's Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's going to be Hugh Jackman that's in the film, not Wolverine. So it's going to be the character that plays Wolverine, the person that plays Wolverine, so they can keep continuity with the.
All for
it. I don't know about that. I love Wolverine.
Ryan Reynolds wants to do silly shit. I'm all for it. I did hear Jennifer Garner has been cast as Elektra again, and that's.
They're just going to pull out the Spider-Man, just bring all the characters back, bring everyone they can.
I would be happy to see Ben Affleck as Daredevil.
Don't think Ben Affleck would be.
No, but I love that film. That's a guilty pleasure.
I can't even remember that film was that long ago since I've seen it.
Colin Farrell is.
Colin Farrell, that's right.
Yeah. So good in it.
Poor Colin.
I like Deadpool. It was was it a leak, Dylan?
There's always leaks from Deadpool.
No, I think it's an official set image.
I thought it was like an image of the two guys.
Yes.
Okay, so topic of the week. I wanted to kind of discuss this with you guys just to see what your thoughts are on it. It was a conversation that I was having in the Republic of Players 24/7 gaming chat the other evening, and we were just talking about. Michael brought it up earlier on. So Microsoft, they have the go ahead now to go ahead and buy Activision, and then a lot of the guys were talking about exclusives, that they didn't like them. That games should be on every system regardless of what you have, and I have my opinion on it, but I'd like to hear.
Well, I know mine's the same as you, so Aiden, go.
Aiden.
I think you lose the spark if you lose all exclusives. There's something kind of. Well, first of all, you're never going to get Nintendo to agree to this, so that's kind of off the table.
Yeah, I brought that up actually. I use Zelda as an example.
Yeah, you're never getting Breath of the Wild on Xbox. Like. Hell will freeze over before that happens. They're just not going to do it. But in saying that, I see Xbox's point of view. Xbox doesn't care about exclusives as long as they can get Game Pass on your thing. But
they care about having Starfield as an exclusive, though.
Yes, but that's the way Phil Spencer talks, he almost sees it like a bargaining chip. They always talk about how they would like to de-escalate exclusives.
Because they're not good at it. That's probably why.
Not really. Like Starfield is going to be a huge thing. But I also see what you mean by Sony kill its exclusives. It's like something they're really good at. They make, in a lot of ways, Sony is the HBO of games. They make really good prestige games.
But so does Nintendo. Do you know what I mean? Like they have their own line of exclusives. Yeah. You think about it, the only people that do bad is Xbox.
Nintendo or Disney.
Yeah, but they have their own. But I mean, they have their own line of exclusives that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But Xbox there's nothing I think about. Halo. That's it. When I think about Xbox, Fable, Halo. There's
Forza.
Forza. But there's not much more. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't be going all day where you could be PlayStation and Nintendo. You
can't really go all day with PlayStation.
If you keep going back and back and back.
You don't go back though. There's God of War and there's Spider-Man and there's Last of Us, which is done.
See, that's all that's on PlayStation.
There's
Ratchet and Clank. There's a fourth. Like, there's not like huge.
Bloodborne, Demon's Souls.
I'm talking about over generation. Like you're thinking.
Yeah, Bloodborne is no longer a series. I'm like talking about like current things that they have as series. Well, Bloodborne might be.
We could pull up a list of exclusives.
But like when you think of like huge name exclusives that each side has, there's not that many left anymore.
Yeah, well, what else?
There's minor exclusives like things like that game I was talking about with the music, and God damn it, Returnal's another one. Like there's B tier exclusives.
Final Fantasy 16.
That's timed exclusive. That's coming and everything eventually. I don't really like timed exclusives. I think that's kind of shitty. But I think it's because of how Epic started it. It's kind of the way the world's going to be now. It costs too much to not release your game on the other console, so most people aren't willing to sign an exclusive contract because the amount you'd need is astronomical. That's kind of why timed exclusive contracts became a thing.
You're supposed you're leaving a bag on the table, aren't you?
You're using a huge bag on the table now, considering games are like all 70 quid a piece.
Yeah, and you need the money.
Yeah.
It's a huge amount of money, but how much are they getting from, Sony or Microsoft to sell on just that console?
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Surely that makes up for it, like.
Well, yeah, they're getting enough to do timed. Most major third-party publishers just won't do exclusive contract anymore because they want that. Because also the thing about an exclusive contract is you get what you sell on one console and you get your exclusivity for a year, and then you get a second release date.
Yeah, the thing is, when you get the exclusivity for a year, by the time it comes out again, is it not really burnt out? Is the Steam not really out of the engine?
No, they sell like they're almost always top the Steam sales whenever they do. Like there's almost top the charts when this happens. Especially,
I think PC's different than Xbox though. Like it's
especially one of the things. If a game comes out on one console exclusively for a year, and it gets rave reviews, when it comes out on the other one, it sells really, really well.
Yeah. Would it sell as well on Xbox as it would on PC? Like when you have PC, you've got mods, you've got bigger graphics, you've got better game, and most of the time, like that's a different thing, isn't it? Really.
Well, for some people, like the percentage of people that mod stuff on PC is probably really, really low.
Like when you think JRPGs, I think PlayStation. Would you?
I would have up until the Switch came out.
Yeah. But like, I'm really focused on PlayStation and Xbox when I'm talking.
Then yeah, it's definitely PlayStation.
Yeah, because that's what it's really bound to. Nintendo kind of sits in its own place, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Nintendo does its own thing.
It does. Yeah, I agree.
It does. Like
it should definitely be still in the conversation, but it definitely does its own thing. Like, and regardless of what happens, they're not going, like Aidan said, they're not going to share out their exclusives.
No, they're just not going to do it.
It's like even the whole court case, the whole last week, there's not really much talk about Nintendo involved in this conversation. Do you know, it's because they're saying, oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Like throwing the toys out the pram, that's what PlayStation did. Because PlayStation's doing the exact same game that Xbox is trying to do, except for Xbox has more money.
Yep.
Just Jim Ryan is not very personable, if you ask me.
It's really not good.
Where Phil Spencer seems to be the cool guy that just wants to do all for gamers. Like at the end of the day, he's a businessman too, but he just seems to have a better approach when it comes to the gamers and players.
That was Michael said there, timed exclusive. Xbox still waiting on Final Fantasy VII remake. Did it not come out on Xbox?
I don't know. I just saw it on PC.
I actually haven't bought any like story-driven games for PC yet. What is it about it?
It's funny that the guys are bringing up Rare there. I'm currently playing Days Gone, and I enjoy the crap out of that game. I'm having so much fun with it, and the reason why they're possibly not going on and making any games, or like surely they're making something, is the game just didn't sell that well at launch. But it was really well reviewed, after they got a lot of the bugs out, and I think it came out free on the PlayStation Plus collection and people started playing it again. But at that stage, it's nearly too late for the developer because it's on like a free platform that you can download. So I don't think they get any money for that. But Rare is a brilliant developer.
Yeah, they always have been.
Siphon Filter game. Sorry?
Rare make Days Gone.
It is Rare, isn't it?
No, Rare like Banjo-Kazooie Rare.
Let me just see.
They're owned by Xbox.
Maybe it's Bend, is it?
Maybe Bend. Rare is like the guys who made Banjo-Kazooie and...
I thought they were bought
Sonny
out.
Bend, sorry, Sonny Bend.
Is it?
GoldenEye.
Rare was bought out though, wasn't it?
Yeah, Microsoft owns Rare.
Yeah.
Apologies. I meant...
What was the question at the top?
Sonny Bend. Are exclusives important? Basically.
I think they are. But basically, if we want to keep the consoles going, you need exclusives. It doesn't make any... you have to have a reason to go buy a console, and games are the reason. So like, if I went out tomorrow and I was like, it didn't make a difference what console I buy. It's a coin flip. So like, you need competition. You need to keep competition alive, and to keep, like, I remember when we were younger, the GameCube came out, and my uncle went in, and it was
apologies guys, Sony banned.
It was like
my bad.
it was Zelda and all that coming in. That's why he was buying the console. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's the same as the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 3. Gran Turismo came out and everything, but that's what sold consoles is games. Xbox 360 did really well. But the likes now, like, I'm always like, PlayStation just has the best games for me, especially now that I have a PC as well. If I want to play on Xbox, I'll just play it on the PC.
Yeah, the best combination you can have is a PC and a Switch and a PlayStation, because everything that comes out on Xbox is basically on PC.
Yeah, a lot of them anyway.
Yeah.
I'd say everything. I think everything is on it. Like, I don't think there's a game that's on Xbox that's not on the PC now. I know it used to be there was a couple of games.
There's old Xbox One games that haven't been ported, but I think it's fairly close to 100%.
I think maybe Microsoft are just finding it difficult with our exclusive things. It doesn't seem to work well for them. I know Starfield's coming out now, but
you forget we talked about this game. Take a lot of time to make. Microsoft bought 12 studios like 3 years ago. They have a lot of stuff coming that just isn't ready yet.
Well, let's flip it on its head, right? Let's say we are sitting here saying Xbox had the best exclusives, and like, that might happen in the future. Do you think that then that they're going to be playing with the same hymn sheet? Like, are they going to be saying, "Oh yeah, we'll open up on every console. Go to every console. It's fine." Like, it's because they're behind that they're saying this stuff.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, PlayStation, if it was the other way around, it's corporate. Like, they'd be like, "No, we're winning."
100%, Paddy.
That's what I think anyway.
It's easy to play the good guy when you're behind.
Yeah, because if this was our business and you wanted to get in, oh, come on, put it on everything. Like, what the first multiplayer game was.
They're not saying put it on everything. They're saying we'll put Game Pass on everything.
Yeah, but they want the PlayStation games on Xbox too, don't they?
No, they just want.
Is that not what this? Is that not what this all means? Like, you don't want exclusives anymore.
No, their whole thing was, if we could sign a deal to put Game Pass on PlayStation and Switch, we'd do it in a heartbeat.
I understand they said that, Aidan, but they know Sony is not going to go for that. So it's an easy thing to put out there to make, to get some, I don't know, kudos from the fans.
I 100% believe that if they had the opportunity to put Game Pass on everything, they would. This is why they don't care about console sales. This is why they've put everything to PC. They just care about Game Pass subscriptions.
Yeah, but isn't having Game Pass on Sony more of an advantage for Microsoft than it is for Sony?
Probably.
Was it not saying that Game Pass, was it not in the court case that Game Pass is not doing that well? Was that not in it as well?
The developer or one of the kind of lead spokespeople
was in the emails
from
and stuff, wasn't it?
Activision said they don't like Game Pass.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff came out in that thing that were in the court case that a lot of people shouldn't have known about. Like, because it was decent to see it, especially saying they were going to pull a Disney or pull a whatever. They're just going to outspend their competitor, and they're probably going to keep doing that and see what happens.
No, that was when it was talked about the way I read that, it was talked about a few years ago.
Yeah, but that's what they're really trying to do. Like, their money talks. That's what will win. At the end of the day, I hope the competition keeps up, and both of them are still around. I hope Nintendo's still around. I hope they just keep fighting it out.
I think if we get to a stage where there's no exclusives, like, what's the point of having the two consoles?
Agreed. We should all just have PCs.
I think it's probably the way it's going anyway, but not for a while.
The thing is with the PC, you said it perfectly earlier, is that you're going to play the game sitting down on the couch on the 4K TV with the PlayStation, which is handy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. Bringing the big desktop into the front room is the difference. Couch gaming is great for consoles.
But is it a case that in a couple of years' time I'm going to have a little dongle and I just USB it into the side of the TV and it connects my controller But you know what I mean? That I know you can do it now. I'm not sure how smoothly the game runs, but I'm sure for a single player game it's perfect.
I wouldn't play COD on it, but I'd play Assassin's Creed, no problem.
Yeah.
It's just something about the PlayStation, isn't it? Or the Xbox just being under the TV. It's just handy. It's just
I really, really, really wish the PlayStation didn't look as bad as it was, and the controller didn't have a 3-hour battery, though.
I hate the look of the PlayStation. I've had this conversation so many times over the last while.
I hate the look of the PlayStation, and now that I've had it a week, that controller's battery is atrocious.
Turn down the
It's
light
like-
on it, Aidan, and well, like I turn off everything on the controller, haptic feedback and all that extra added stuff that I don't really like. But some people like it for the immersion. I turn it off because a lot of my
The
stuff
PlayStation is a bit of a boat, isn't it?
Oh, it's
horrendous.
horrible looking.
the design
It's
on
so
it is
big.
horrendous.
I had it behind my TV.
There's a base plate you can get for it, and I'm buying it because I can't deal with the two flappy ear bits and the stand. Like I have it sitting horizontally on the desk, and that stand underneath is just rickety, and
It's
it comes
worthless.
out of the PlayStation. It's sitting sideways, looking at you. You're just like, what the hell sort of design is
I actually
this?
don't like it. I don't like it in white either. I'd rather black. I think it's better.
Yeah.
Black.
When did the design peak for the PlayStation?
Did it ever?
Two.
Was it ever really that nice?
2 and 4 are the nice.
2 was
ones.
very blocky. Jesus, 2 was blocky.
I like blocky.
Which was the fat man? That was the third one, wasn't
3.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
They're
was
all very bad if you think about it. They're not
I
great.
know.
PS1 is a nice
PS2
design.
The PS2 Slim is a beautiful console.
PS2 Slim is so tiny, and
Yeah, the DVD case.
yeah,
Oh,
that's a good. That's
It's not
a
a
good
PS1.
design.
no,
No,
PS1's
no.
very small. PS1's
There's the
very small.
PS1, which is like the smaller rounded version of the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
PS1, the one that
Yeah.
is really small one.
Put a screen on it. It was cool.
But when I think of Sony, when I think of Sony's other products, though, I think nice style, nice, lovely stuff. But then the PlayStation, I suppose it's very hard to make something look good like that.
Google. Ronan, did you describe to Google Stadia? Yeah, but the problem, Michael, is Google Stadia isn't around anymore. So, yeah, and I never got to play Google Stadia with its 5 games for €80 each.
Yep.
What a disgrace.
Don't forget a free copy of Destiny 2.
I do appreciate the fodders on the O and the A. Not too many people do that.
I don't know how to.
Calm down. What's everyone's opinion on exclusives? I just think they're important for the competition. Like, I think Paddy said it already. It's nice to have, the likes of The Last of Us. It's, on as a PlayStation exclusive. Is The Last of Us on? Oh yeah, it came to PC and it was a mess, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I think it has received a major patch since then.
There's
Our
a lot
friend is
of,
playing it on PC and it seems
I
to
just
be good.
like I don't hate them like a lot of the community seem to, but I understand why somebody would like to buy one console and be able to play everything on it. I totally understand that. I think this conversation started happening with the Activision deal. I think, and I've said this a long time ago, Call of Duty is never going to be an exclusive for Xbox. It just doesn't make any sense for a game like that to be an exclusive. It's the exact same way as the Minecraft deal. It makes total sense that a Bethesda game, a single player experience, is going to be an exclusive because it's going to sell consoles, and that is the bottom line. If people are out there and they like Elder Scrolls or they like Fallout, a lot of people will go and buy an Xbox or a PC to play that game.
Or it's going to sell graphics cards.
Or, well, there you go. I need a new graphics card now that I've updated the CPU.
Absolutely.
Paddy might sort me out. You probably have one lying around there somewhere.
You want a 1060?
Yeah, I have a 1060.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got the same one, sure.
That's a lie.
My brother.
SLA doesn't exist.
it's a great card. You just don't say anything about it. It's a bit lost now with the big heater that I've in the cooler that I've in the system now, but still rocking away there.
One more thing on exclusives. Now as an adult, doesn't really bother me. I'm kind of happy they exist. I have enough disposable income that I can buy all the consoles.
Yeah,
As a kid, it sucked.
it did. the whole Sega Nintendo and not having Nintendo and not being able to play Nintendo games, that
Not
was
be able to play Halo when I was in secondary school. It was the worst.
It has to be said the Nintendo Sega rivalry was better than the PlayStation Xbox rivalry. I think in terms of like advertisements and the crack. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, and by the way, just the Sony and Microsoft fanboys, you are the most pathetic people in the world.
Yeah.
I get
Not
embarrassed.
calling out anyone out in the but relax.
I love this hobby. I love video games. People like that make me embarrassed of this hobby. Like, it's so weird and tribal and like every little
You get that
nitpick
in
and
everything.
you do.
I have 4.7 gigahertz speed and it's so
If I posted my PC build on a PC forum on Facebook, I would be absolutely destroyed. And the PC is grand, like, but they'd be like, "Oh, why do you not have the latest and greatest?" And I found a lot of that with but then you find a lot of good people as well. It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's the whole lot of them, dude.
If you posted to PC Master Race, they'd be like, "Yeah."
I seen one of the most positive comments ever or posts ever was on Reddit, believe it or not, where a guy, like, he said, "This is my first build, it's nothing to look at, I don't have RGBs," and then everybody came in saying, "Yeah, we hate RGBs and fair play to you, that looks awesome." It was like a sleeper build, an old case that he used, and it was nice to see. I commented under it as well. I love Reddit. I have to say, it's really interesting place.
I think it's probably the way you approach the post. If you say it in a certain way, if you say it a certain way, you'll get killed.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be combative, people will be combative back.
If you're arrogant at all, you're just dead. I remember I went into Reddit one time, and it's the only time I ever posted anything. Right, only time ever.
This will be a story.
And I said to them, "What did people collect in Ireland?" And Jesus Christ, it was ever the dole. It was like anything you could say, like.
Is this our Ireland?
Pints.
Yeah, no. So it was Ireland or something like that.
Oh, God.
And I never got so many responses on a post in my life, and I was like, I wish I never posted this. It's like, what do you expect? I said, I don't know.
You know what?
maybe a real answer.
Do you know one of the saddest things about Reddit? Our Northern Ireland it's a much better subreddit than our Ireland.
Don't be saying that in the 12th.
There you go.
Our Ireland is like
today.
Our Ireland is just a miserable pile of gits. It's the worst.
Well, it is Ireland.
Yeah, but
we're just like single-handedly like calling out all of our viewers. And first, we're going after them for loving Xboxes and PlayStation. Now we're calling them bad for being Irish.
I think Reddit is all about finding friendly subreddits and getting rid of the bad ones. Our metal, full of knobs. I hate them all.
Is Reddit still going? I thought they were shutting down.
Not at all. It's absolutely hopping. I love it over there.
I love Reddit.
I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the best places, like, especially for posts, whatever out the comment section, but posts have to be a certain quality to get posted and to get your I don't even know what it's called. You get like,
you know what I love?
Some sort of points. Karma, there you go.
YouTube. Give us a sub.
YouTube, yeah. Guys, I'm going to go over these comments now. I do appreciate every comment that's put into the chat, so I don't want to miss any of these as well. Michael has a great point here. I would see it like a phone. There aren't many apps that are exclusive to a phone type yet. You see people swear by Apple and others swear by Android. What's your thoughts on that?
I actually got Apple Arcade recently. It's quite good.
Cool. I have both an Android and an Apple, and I prefer the Apple just for its. Well, I don't know. It just runs better.
The phone wise, the way the phones are these days, it doesn't matter what price they are, they nearly all do the same thing, except for the cameras. You know, the cameras are better, and some of them have RAM these days. But like apart from that, like I have a phone here, it only cost me like €150, and it would probably cost €500 a couple of years ago. Like phones they're all the same these days.
Would that be a similar comparison to having an Intel chip over a Ryzen chip? Would that be kind of, because there is a little bit of fanboy that goes on with that.
It'd be more of a comparison from having a PC or a Mac.
Oh, okay. There's only one winner there anyway. Does it run on Mac? That was another Reddit post. I think going down too well. Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'll probably never have an iPhone, but I'll always have an iPad.
There's not much difference in phones anymore, is there really?
Yeah, I just buy whatever's around the 300 quid from China.
From China, they're all from China.
I always buy Xiaomi or something. Usually they're brilliant.
So Glenn just mentioned about Bobby came out and said he doesn't like sub services. Jim came out and said devs don't like Game Pass, but devs start coming out saying they do like it. So kind of around the garden.
I suppose there's a lot more chance of your game being played if it's on Game Pass too.
A few healthy exclusives to keep the platform good, but many second party is almost more important than a few first party when you look at how good Square Enix has treated Sony. Is Hitman a Sony exclusive?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think anything Square Enix does stays exclusive now forever. Like almost everything eventually comes out to them.
But like the question there earlier on was Final Fantasy is still not on Xbox, so what's the story there?
It's coming eventually.
Well, it's been out for more than 6 months, surely.
Yeah, but it's probably whenever Remake Integrate came out, it'll be a year after that, I think.
Okay.
I'm just looking it up here. Because it was definitely timed exclusive. It came to PC.
This is an interesting one. Myself and Michael have said about exclusives, have less exclusives, but have exclusive content for each console. Like they did with Soul Calibur 4. They had exclusive DLC for a Yoda Xbox. Saber. Vader, sorry, Darth Vader, yeah. On PS. Yeah.
I agree. I love that shit. I love that.
Okay.
Link in Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube, where you had like Yoshimitsu on Xbox and Spawn on Xbox and Yoshimitsu on PlayStation. I love that stuff.
Like it says, bring back Crossfire.
Anyway.
What?
Bring back Crossfire. Nvidia killed SLI.
Yeah. You could have 2 1060s.
Have it. Oh yeah, I think it's wrong because you end up having to buy all the consoles.
But that's what they want. Because
it's exactly the reason why.
Yeah, like
they're there.
It'd be stupid of them business wise to not want you to buy their consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like, why would you want to give all your games away to someone else if you're not going to sell consoles at the end of the day? That's your market.
Was there any good GPU deals on Prime Day? Actually, not really. There was a couple. I'm buying a 3060 as the next card that I'm getting, and I think there was like a 10. I think it was 10 quid off, which is not bad, but not like
GPUs are a pretty low price. Anyway.
Yeah, myself and Paddy bought CPUs there recently, so I went with the Ryzen 7 5700X, which I just installed this evening with a Thermarite cooler, and I got all for about 230 quid, which was nice.
If anybody is thinking about GPUs, don't buy a 40 series card unless it's a 4070. 3080 12 gigs are really reasonably priced second hand, and they're ready like.
Yeah, I was even thinking about getting the 3060 second hand.
Yeah.
The only problem with that
don't buy a 4060. Oh my god, they've messed it up so bad.
Would you not be afraid of them being used for mining before? No.
Not really. I bought my 1060 second hand, and it was like in the midst of the mining.
I don't know. I don't think it was ever as big as it was last year. Was it? Like it was massive before it ended.
Mining cards usually don't. It's not that bad.
No,
but if they're going like 24/7 for months and months and months and months on end, like it can't be
like
good.
Usually there's a long warranty with GPUs as well, and they're pretty good to get replaced if they do go on you.
Mine's what is it? 3090 is 24 gig, isn't it?
Yes.
Yours is a 3090, is it?
As long as you have more than 8, you're okay. Don't settle for an 8 gig card. 8 gig isn't enough for modern games.
Yeah, 12 I think is the 3060.
Yeah.
The 3060 is a good card though.
8 is the 4060. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. I think they've lost a lot of the market as well with the miners going away. They're probably not making as much money as they used to. Mining is dead, really.
Homelander on Xbox, Jean-Claude Van Damme on PS. I'm not mad about Xbox
either. I'm not mad about Xbox.
It's really interesting at the moment what's happening. We need more games that are released fully working and that gamers are getting bang for their buck. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, gamers bang buck. That's it. To be honest, I just want more games, like more AAA games come out quicker, but it's just not happening.
Like gaming,
it feels like we're never going to see GTA 6. It just feels like it.
We will.
You're just dying for it, aren't you? And it's been taken for so long. And it feels like when we were younger, we used to get them so much quicker. Maybe it's because we were younger, but it just feels
this is not that GTA 6 taking this long has absolutely nothing to do with long development time and everything to do with the fact that people kept buying shark cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know GTA, but it is a lot. It is going to be a massive production too, though. Like it's going to be.
We still got Red Dead like in the middle of it, which was. I know it's not the same, but I enjoyed it.
No, Red Dead was brilliant. Don't give me
I hate bringing that game up with it.
Oh, look.
Do you know what I was thinking, Aidan, actually? Is there a mod that changes the movement for PC now?
I think some of the guys don't exist. I was talking about that over the week with people.
I seen it as in the Steam sale there, and I was like, I wonder is there a mod that changes the movement back to...
I own it.
Oh, you own it, do you?
I own it on 2 different things.
That's it. They seen your money.
Yeah. But legitimately, because I bought it, I pre-ordered it because I wanted to preload it. And after 2 days, I was like, nope. And then it was really, really cheap. I was like, it's probably be moddable eventually, so I bought it on PC.
That, to be fair, the game does take a bit to get into.
It does.
Definitely.
Slow start.
And get out of.
Yeah.
There's no end to. The middle's good.
It ends once or twice.
Oh, that's like, I always thought the Skyrim opening is like the worst opening. That opening of Red Dead 2 is atrocious.
New Beginnings mod for Skyrim.
The best opening.
Never play
one.
another one.
Yeah.
Or God of War that came out. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Remember the...
I was thinking of building a budget 7 series PC to upgrade over 6 to 8 years. I feel like a brand new 5 series motherboard would be a bad investment. Just do your research. Like I'll say, do your research. I have a B350 motherboard, and thank God they released a BIOS that I can upgrade to the new 7 series. So I was absolutely over the moon. The fact that I didn't have to upgrade my motherboard and just save a few quid, and just, you know, I'll upgrade it when things get a little bit cheaper.
That B550 is a 5 series I have. It's not bad motherboard.
Nice.
That can run that 5 series. No problem. But I don't know if you can get B550s anymore, can you? What is it, B60? B650?
I haven't been up to date with what it is now.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up to date. You look on Amazon every month and it's on to the next gen. I run a 3060 really solid card. Yeah, that's going to be... If I can get a cheap 3070 second hand, I'll go with that, but 3060 is the one I have on the hit list.
But it's a 3060 Ti is a good card as well, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
most of the 30
less
series
gig,
are
isn't it?
really good cards. No more. TI is always the upgrade version.
Yeah,
okay.
the TI is upgraded.
Just check that, because I looked at the TI and I thought it was 8 gigabyte, honestly. Just have a quick scan there. I could be wrong, but I think the TI is 8 gigabyte VRAM, and the standard is 12.
There might be 2 different 3060s.
There's a 30...
VRAM. It's 8 gigabyte VRAM on a 3060 Ti and 12 on a 3060.
It's usually the upgraded version. I don't know. Confused.
No, it
always is.
There's something about... I think it is a quicker card, but a lot
less VRAM.
Less VRAM, yeah.
It was the 3060 Ti as well. You couldn't mine with that one. You could mine with 3060. They turned it off.
Guys, we are going to leave it there. Thank you so much for the buzz and chat there. Great to have lots of people give their opinion. We're always open to hearing what you have to say. If it is a case that you have any opinions for the podcast, maybe there's a section that you want us to add. We are thinking of a couple of new sections that we're going to have. And apologies earlier on for the high-end production of moving cameras around the screen, but we got through it. Nice to have Aidan here. Nice to have you here, dude. Definitely worth bringing you in and spending a little bit of time getting the camera sorted. Paddy Tone.
People on a cliffhanger. The 3060 is an 8 gig card, as is the 3060 Ti, but they released a special edition 3060 12 gig afterwards.
Oh, that's what it was.
Okay.
So is that
was confusing the hell out of me.
So they're all 8 gig
so
cards.
There's two different 3060 cards.
Yeah. There's also 2 different 4060s. There's an 8 and a 12 gig.
Okay. Good to know.
3060.
Paddy, where can the good folks find you?
Anywhere you see the Republic players. We're on TikTok as well, and doing a lot of YouTube shorts as well. So check us out whenever you can, please. Thank you.
Yep. Get the watch time up, and we try and hit a partner on that channel and
this channel.
Start becoming real YouTubers and quit our jobs. It's gonna be great.
YouTubers.
Aidan, where can the good folks find you?
Nowhere at the moment. I'm on Twitter occasionally, but I'm so flat this summer. I'm just not doing anything. But I will start. We starting streaming in September, hopefully.
Nice. Find me on the Republic of Players. I'm spending a lot of time in that chat, which I really appreciate. Really good people in there that have, amazing opinions on the gaming industry, and it's good to see, everyone's opinion in terms of exclusives, and it gives me a lot of ideas for the show as well. A lot of the guys here that are chatting, I just see it in the chat very, very often. So it's great to get to know a lot more of you, and also
I don't respond a lot, but I read a lot.
Yeah. Also, go over to the Republic of Players TikTok, as Paddy said. Please drop a follow over there. Paddy's doing some amazing work over there. And also drop a sub on this channel. And if you do have time, check out my YouTube channel as well. We're very close to hitting partner. I think it's going to be like another month with the watch time that I need. So just drop us a follow over there. And if you have some time, just watch my longest video. You don't even need to watch it, just have it run in the background so I can get that watch time up and hit that partnership.
Don't watch it, shit.
Yeah, don't watch it, it's terrible. Thank you so much, guys.
In the algorithm. Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys, and we'll chat to you next week.